the Denver Broncos might just have the most overlooked weapon in the entire NFL. And it's not a player. It's a coach. Meet Joe Lombardi. From the discipline of the Air Force Academy to commanding some of the most explosive air raid-style offenses football has ever seen, Lombardi brings more than just experience. He brings legacy. This is a man connected by blood to Vince Lombardi himself, the namesake of the Super Bowl trophy. And now, he's calling plays for Denver. In today's breakdown, we're diving deep into why Joe Lombardi could be the X factor behind a Broncos offensive breakout. Why has Sean Payton trusted him? Not once, not twice, but 3 times throughout his coaching career. Why does Lombardi thrive in some systems and stumble in others? And more importantly, why is he perfectly positioned to elevate Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Pat Bryant, and the rest of this offense in 2025? This is what makes the NFL special. In no other league can a team go from the bottom of the standings to a playoff contender in just one season. That kind of turnaround. It starts with coaching. In the NFL, the margin between a superstar and someone fighting for a roster spot is razor thin. The real difference: leadership, scheme, preparation. And Sean Payton knows that better than anyone. He builds staffs full of sharp, hungry minds, guys like Joe Lombardi. And it's no wonder other teams are constantly trying to steal his coaches away. Ross Tucker once said that coaching matters more in the NFL than in any other sport. And he's right. Bum Phillips said the same. In the NBA, talent wins. But in the NFL, coaching defines everything. In the NFL, coaching isn't optional. It's everything. You can't just roll out the ball and let players figure it out. That's a recipe for disaster. You need a mind who can lead, inspire, and scheme at the highest level. That's exactly what the Broncos have in offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi. Let's break down what makes him so unique, why he's found success in some places, faced challenges in others, and why this year, with Sean Payton by his side, he might be ready to take Denver's offense to new heights. Yes, it's true. Joe Lombardi is the grandson of the legendary Vince Lombardi, the very man the Super Bowl trophy is named after. Sadly, Vince passed away a year before Joe was born, but his legacy clearly lives on in Joe's football DNA. Joe's journey began at the Air Force Academy, where he played tight end and first discovered his passion for leadership. But his vision went beyond just playing. He wanted to teach, inspire, and coach. And he didn't limit himself to one role. He coached tight ends in the XFL, worked with defensive linemen at the University of Dayton, and then found his calling on the offensive side of the ball, especially as a quarterback's coach and coordinator. What stands out most? Sean Payton's trust. Not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. Payton has brought Lombardi onto his staff, rehiring and promoting him again and again. That kind of loyalty says everything. In a league where coaching staffs turn over constantly, Sean Payton keeps his circle tight. And Joe Lombardi, he's firmly in that circle. If Payton's track record tells us anything, it's that when he believes in someone, they deliver. And that's why Broncos fans should be excited. Joe Lombardi didn't start at the top. He earned every inch of respect in this league, beginning as a humble offensive assistant under Sean Payton in New Orleans. But from the beginning, Payton saw something special. Lombardi had a rare gift, the ability to simplify even the most complex offensive concepts. He could take the chaos of the NFL playbook and translate it into something precise and deadly. That's why Payton promoted him and made him Drew Brees' quarterback's coach. What followed? History. Together, Lombardi and Brees helped lead the Saints to a Super Bowl. Under Lombardi's guidance, Brees reached elite levels of accuracy and production rarely seen in the modern era. At one point, Brees held the all-time single-season passing yardage record, a mark so high it took Peyton Manning to break it, by 1 yard. Think about that. 1 yard. That's the level Joe Lombardi helped engineer. From there, he took his talents to Detroit as offensive coordinator. And despite the challenges the Lions faced as a franchise, Lombardi brought out some of the best football Matt Stafford ever played. When the head coach was let go, Lombardi followed, but Sean Payton wasted no time bringing him right back. That reunion brought more success, which caught the attention of Brandon Staley and the LA Chargers. Lombardi was hired to coach Justin Herbert, and once again, the results spoke for themselves. Herbert put up record-breaking numbers and developed into one of the league's brightest young stars. But in this league, when head coaches get fired, their staffs often go with them. That's what happened in both Detroit and LA, and once again, it wasn't because of Lombardi's performance. The stats prove it. The offenses he ran were productive, aggressive, and efficient. And now, once again, Sean Payton has brought him back for the third time. Because history tells us one thing: Joe Lombardi thrives when he's paired with a brilliant offensive mind. And in Denver, he has exactly that in Sean Payton. Joe Lombardi is at his best when he has a clear structure, a leader who sets the vision, while he handles the intricate details. He's not the loudest voice in the room, and he's not the alpha running the entire offense solo. What he is, though, is a master strategist, a quarterback whisperer, the guy behind the scenes, building game plans, refining footwork, breaking down defenses, and pulling greatness out of his quarterbacks. But when he's the sole offensive architect, without a visionary head coach leading the charge, that's where things haven't gone as well. We saw it in Detroit under Jim Caldwell. We saw it with the Chargers under Brandon Staley. Both defensive-minded coaches. Both times, Lombardi was left to steer the offense alone. And while he still got solid production, it wasn't the perfect fit. Lombardi isn't a solo act. He's the perfect right-hand man. Think of it like this. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Wozniak built the genius behind Apple's early tech. But without Jobs leading the vision, the company never becomes what it is today. Lombardi is Wozniak, a brilliant mind who thrives when partnered with someone who can set the tone. And in Sean Payton, he has exactly that. Their chemistry is proven. As quarterbacks coach under Payton, Lombardi helped engineer some of the most lethal passing attacks in NFL history. 2 separate stretches with Drew Brees stand out. Both times, the Saints' offense became the most dangerous in the league. Brees was already great, but with Lombardi refining the details, he reached legendary status. In fact, reports out of New Orleans said Brees gave huge credit to Lombardi for his sustained success, and it's no surprise. Under Lombardi's coaching, Brees wasn't just putting up numbers. He was winning. He was efficient. He was unstoppable. And yes, he earned Super Bowl MVP during that dominant stretch. Joe Lombardi doesn't just work with quarterbacks, he elevates them. The numbers prove it. Let's go back to New Orleans. Under Lombardi's guidance, Drew Brees threw for 5,476 yards, a record that stood tall until Peyton Manning narrowly broke it. And every season Brees had Lombardi in his ear. Pro Bowl selections. That's not a coincidence. That's elite coaching. Then came his time with the Chargers, and his work with Justin Herbert was jaw-dropping. In just his second year, Herbert shattered the franchise's single-season passing records. 5,014 yards, 38 touchdowns, 443 completions. These weren't just empty stats. They were better than what we saw even under Jim Harbaugh the following season. And considering Herbert was stepping into the shoes of legends like Philip Rivers and Drew Bledsoe, that level of production made one thing clear. Joe Lombardi unlocked something special. And let's not forget his time with Matt Stafford in Detroit. That was the only time in Stafford's career he made a Pro Bowl, and it was under Lombardi. More than that, he helped change Stafford's playing style. The gunslinger, who was once known for risky throws, suddenly became more efficient. Lombardi reduced Stafford's interception percentage by 37%. That year, Stafford threw 5 fewer picks, and more importantly, helped lead the Lions to their first playoff appearance since 1991, finishing the season at 11-5. And what about Denver? Last year, the Broncos had hit rock bottom offensively. Worst in scoring, worst in yardage, worst in the red zone. By every major metric, the offense was broken. But when Lombardi came in and started working with Russell Wilson, the improvement was immediate. The offense started to function again. The rhythm returned. Points were scored. And suddenly, the Broncos weren't a laughingstock anymore. This is what Joe Lombardi does. He fixes quarterbacks. He builds efficient, powerful offenses. And when he has the right pieces around him, he delivers results. Look at what's happened last season. The transformation was undeniable. The Broncos' offense climbed from 32nd to 19th in scoring and jumped from 31st to 18th in scoring efficiency. That's a massive leap in 1 year. And it happened without a 100-yard rusher. It happened with a quarterback who had clear limitations. But still, Joe Lombardi got results. He made it work. Why? Because he's a master of designing plays that put his weapons in space. Just ask Austin Eckler, who praised Lombardi for doing exactly that, getting the ball into the hands of playmakers in ways that maximize their impact. Now, heading into this season, Lombardi has something he hasn't had in years: an arsenal. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, Pat Bryant, Samori Toure, Marvin Mims, Courtland Sutton, and now Evan Engram at tight end. That's not just depth, that's a dream. And for someone like Lombardi, it's a blank canvas, with Sean Payton setting the vision and Lombardi executing the game plan. This could be an Air Force Academy-worthy offense: fast, precise, explosive. Payton has believed in Joe Lombardi not once, not twice, but 3 times. And this year, the rest of the league is going to understand why. Everyone's watching Vance Joseph as a head coaching candidate. But don't be surprised if Joe Lombardi's name starts rising too, especially if he leads Bo Nix to a breakout rookie season, which is exactly what we believe will happen. Because in the NFL, when Sean Payton's stock rises, so does the stock of every brilliant mind under him. So, Broncos country, here's the question. Which offensive milestone are you most excited to see us finally break? A 100-yard rushing game? A tight end making big plays again? A 1,000-yard rusher for the first time since Philip Lindsay? We've already started rewriting the narrative under Sean Payton, and this season, we're going further. Because now, we've got a Lombardi on the sidelines. And in February, we're going to bring home another one. Broncos country, believe. Let's ride.